In case you haven't heard yet, Apple just announced a new set of AirPods that they're calling AirPods Pro. They cost $250 and have a handful of new features that differentiate them from the older AirPods. Let's start with the design. Apple redesigned just about everything about the AirPods for the AirPods Pro. The case is now wider and shorter, but it's actually pretty similar in size to the original case when you turn it sideways. It has wireless charging and has a Lightning port, but funny enough, in the box, Apple includes a Lightning to USB-C cable. The pod itself has a bit of a different shape. The stem is shorter and angled much differently. The stems of the AirPods Pro don't stick out as much as the older AirPods do. And unlike the original AirPods, the AirPods Pro have rubber tips. These are gonna fit in your ears way better than the original plastic AirPods, and when you put the Pros in your ears, it creates this seal. I've never really had a problem with the original AirPods falling out of my ears, but if you did, rest assured, these AirPods Pro, AirPod Pros, will probably stay in your ears much better than the originals did. And kind of a surprise, Apple actually includes multiple sizes of the rubber tips right in the box: small, medium, and large. The mediums are on by default, and they're easily interchangeable. There's something that Apple's calling the ear tip fit test, which can be found in the Bluetooth settings of your AirPods. It plays a little song and then tells you if your AirPods are fitting well inside your ears. Sadly, you still cannot control the volume of your music with the AirPods themselves, but Apple has a new capacitive area on both of the pods that easily lets you control your music. The older AirPods have this sort of general area where you kind of guess and tap to change songs and that kind of thing, but with the AirPods Pro, there's a deliberate flat area, and frankly, I found it easier to use. And it's interesting, you don't tap, you now squeeze. One squeeze is to play and pause your music, 2 squeezes is to go forward, and 3 is to go back. And Apple actually has a little audio cue. It's like a little tick, so you know that the squeeze actually worked. Also new in AirPods Pro is active noise cancellation, which can be turned on or off with a long squeeze of either of the AirPods. And it shows up in Control Center, which is awesome. I'll be honest, the active noise cancellation in the AirPods Pro is really impressive. I didn't think it'd be that good because these are little tiny plastic wireless bell sprouts, but the AirPod Pro's noise cancellation is on par with some over-the-ear headphones I've used. It does an excellent job of drowning out all of the sound around you, as noise cancellation should. Apple also has a mode sort of on the other end of the noise cancellation spectrum, and that is transparency. And what it does is it lets noise through. So let's say you're in the subway and you want to be listening for the announcements. You can still hear your music and kind of hear things around you. And again, you can switch between them easily by a long press on the AirPods. If the AirPods Pro are your first headphones with active noise cancellation, you'll immediately hear or not hear the difference. And lastly, the sound. How do they sound? Well, in short, they sound great. They've got new internals and a new driver. So you've got crisp and clear mids and highs, and surprisingly good bass for wireless, tiny little headphones. It's hard to describe what sounds like because your interpretation of how something sounds is probably different than my interpretation of how something sounds, but these AirPods Pro definitely sound better than the older AirPods from a fit perspective and just from a sheer how they sound perspective. I guess if I really had to put it in words, I'd say that the AirPods Pro sound really full with noise cancellation turned on. If you've never owned a pair of AirPods and you want AirPods but they don't fit in your ears and you have an iPhone, then the AirPods Pro is a no-brainer purchase. The ease of connectivity and all of the magic that comes with AirPods is definitely still there, but now these will fit in your ears, and you've got multiple tips inside the box. And they're IPX4 water resistant, and you've got the active noise cancellation and transparency. If you already have AirPods, you're probably good. I wouldn't rush to buy a set of AirPods Pro because your AirPods are a really solid set of wireless headphones. These will be my go-to headphones for the time being, so if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you for watching today's episode of Tech Tuesday with Sam Sheffer. I'll see you next week.
Wow, it looks like a Pokemon.